Okay, we are recording.
Thank you. This is a Monday, February 22nd, 2021 meeting of the Easton Library Board of Trustees, approximately 7:30. Jennifer is hosting the meeting, and Jennifer, can you see if we have any public present?
No public present.
All right, then we will begin with a roll call. Aaron?
Here.
Linda is here. Peter?
Here.
Patricia?
Here.
Mary Jane?
Here.
John is not present. And Chelsea?
Here.
Excellent. So we have a quorum, and we'll begin our meeting. We received minutes from Aaron from January 25th, 2021 meeting. Everyone got them via email. And is there any addition or changes to what you've read? I'm not hearing anyone speak up, so can I have a motion to accept the minutes from January 25th as we received them through email?
Chelsea makes a motion to approve the minutes.
Mary Jane will second.
So I heard a motion by Chelsea and a second by Mary Jane to accept the minutes as we received them from the January 25th meeting. We'll move on to the treasurer's report.
Excuse me, Linda. We
Yes.
have a person from the public present. It is Pat Kirk.
Okay, terrific. Welcome, Pat. It's Linda Borden. How are you?
I don't know if I think she's got her mute on, but I see her name.
Okay, well, I wonder if she can hear us. I'll give her a minute to see if she knows how to unmute herself, so that we know she can hear and see us. Pat Kirk, can you hear me? Well, we'll go on with the meeting, and we'll see if Pat vocally joins in at any point, okay?
Okay.
So our treasurer's report we received from Peter via email also. Did anyone have any questions for Peter on the treasurer's report? I'm not hearing any questions, so can I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report as presented by Peter?
Patricia moves to accept.
And a second for that, please?
Chelsea seconds.
I have a motion by Patricia, a second by Chelsea to accept the treasurer's report. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposition? Okay, hearing no opposition, we'll move on. Was that an opposition or a comment?
No.
Okay, so moving on then to the director's report. Jennifer has a few things to share with us. Jennifer, you're on.
Okay. So I'm saving my annual report for new business.
Yes, that's a good idea.
Okay. Jeff Moses offered to take over the smoke and carbon monoxide detector and exit sign project from last month's board meeting. I know there was discussion about that, and John O'Brien was going to help me do that. So now Jeff Moses is on that project, and I will be working with him when he gets time to install them. We've had a discussion, and he knows what needs to be put in, and so I know he's busy right now, but he will be putting them in. So I just wanted the board to know that that is in motion. And then I was wondering, I sent out that letter from the NYLA and wondered what the trustees wanted to do about that.
Did,
I recommend that we join.
do you want to join as individuals then, Mary Jane? Yes?
I would like to join as a board.
Okay, I believe we're already joined as a board. I reread that letter and I think they are changing it so you can stay as a board, which would not give us individual voting rights. It seemed to me that was the only difference, but I'm not 100% sure. If we join as individual members, then we have individual voting rights. It seemed to be the difference. What did you think of the difference between the two memberships?
I thought we would have voting rights. I thought we just needed to pay the rider based on our budget, which I didn't think was a big cost, but it said, what are the benefits? The trustees become voting members with all the benefits. Where did you see that that we couldn't vote?
Well, that sentence that you just read led me to believe that the benefit of being an individual member is you can vote as an individual member, but if you're not an individual member, you don't get to vote.
Well, then let's just stay as an organ, as a library that belongs.
Okay, because other than that, unless anybody else has any preference, I really don't have a strong preference. I just was trying to discern the difference between the two membership levels. And I don't have it in front of me, Mary Jane, printed out. I'm not at home, so I don't have a printer, so it's not printed. So if, you see anything there in front of you want to share, that would be fine.
Well, if we joined it as individuals, it would be $30 a piece if we're standalone members. If we join as a library, it says, I think we pay $50 for our membership now, and we would have to pay a additional $10. So it would be raised to $60.
And if it's raised, go ahead, Peter. Go ahead, Peter.
The dues rate is $75 because it's based on the library budget, and our budget is $50,000 to $100,000 in that range.
Okay, so okay.
Therefore, it'd be $75
plus 20. It would go up $20, right?
What I don't understand is that $20 per trustee, or just that 20 and all the trustees are included for that?
I think it's just add 20.
All right, I can double check with them. I can get in touch with them and find out for sure. But we can join.
Yeah, I don't have a preference. I couldn't see the difference other than the voting piece. So Aaron or Chelsea, any comments? Patricia, any ideas about this?
Not from Patricia.
Okay.
The newbie.
Yeah, well, you might have had some experience with something like it, so who knows?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and this is Chelsea, and I was going to say the same. I don't have a lot of experience with this organization, so I'm not really sure even of the difference. And I'm looking at the letter now again. And yeah, I don't have anything to add at this time.
What is the deadline for this? When do they want us to do this?
Well, the letter's from January 22nd, so that's a month ago.
It's my understanding it's just when your membership is at time of renewal.
time of renewal. Okay. And Peter, you could help us with that because I don't really know when we join.
What I could do is I can call them. There's a phone number there to get in touch with somebody. I could find out when we'd have to renew and then verify exactly how much they need. So
Okay,
that's simple.
that would be awesome. Okay, thank you.
All right,
Okay.
I will handle that.
all right, thanks, Peter.
Thank you.
Okay, Jennifer next.
Okay, we have the school budget, we have the school budget proposition signature list completed. We have 25 signatures. As of
Good
today.
job.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't think we were gonna do it, so we did it. And I've spoken with Annie, and I'm gonna drop the list off to the Greenwich Library sometime in the next week or two. And she's gonna make an appointment with Troy and take them over to him. So we'll be all set with that, getting the proposition onto the school budget vote.
That's great news.
So, yes, yes. And, I had Jeff Moses come a couple months ago to the library and measure some shelves. We need to expand our audiobook selection. We're getting a little cramped and we have some extra shelving, but we need to, the shelving is made for books and we need to add more shelves to make it smaller so we can fit audiobooks in. And he estimated a cost of $200. So I was going to ask the board if I could have $200 to put more shelves in.
I'll make a motion to approve that we will spend $200 to customize our audio bookshelves.
Patricia can second that.
Thank you.
I hear a first and a second to spend approximately $200 to expand our shelving for audiobooks. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Abstain? So go ahead, Jennifer, with that project, and whenever he can begin on that, that'd be great.
Okay, great. And then one last thing. It's a brand new thing. You know how coronavirus news is constantly changing. I got an email it was from an email from the director of the Mechanicville Public Library. Her name is Michelle Duell. And she was taking a poll from the SALS directors wanting to know how we all felt about a trend that is occurring about decreasing the quarantine times of our materials from 96 hours to 48 hours based on literature that is new literature that is coming out. So I guess it is a new trend that's occurring across many libraries, and the MVLS and delivery must have a clear plan first, and we're waiting to get an official notification from Sarah Dallas. But that, that would be great if we could cut our quarantine time in half. So this is something brand new, but just I wanted to let you know that news.
Good news. It's not necessary to do what we used to do, right?
That's what they're thinking.
Yeah.
So, but to be continued. And so that's it for my director's report until new business.
I have a question for you, Jennifer. You sent or forwarded a email from SALS that was asking about the sexual harassment group purchase.
Yeah,
And I didn't know whether that came from you or from Sal's, and whether you were happy with what we're doing or whether you were kind of recommending we go with them. So maybe you want to tell me what your thoughts were. I didn't know.
well, that was an email from Diane Winter, and she is in charge of the sexual harassment training for SALs and offers the training to the other SALs and MVLS libraries. I can't remember the cost. What was it? $17 a person to sign up for the training, and you get a certificate for it. And I know in the past that we've decided to go our own way just because we don't want to pay the money. For 2 years in a row, we've done the New York State training. It's been the same training. It hasn't been different. That is concerning to me. So I don't know if that's okay for it to be that way. I don't know. I know nothing about sexual harassment training. And then we don't get a certificate from it or any proof that we've done it. So the only proof is, my documentation. I do keep records in the library of our documentation, of us completing it, but I just hope that that satisfies anybody who asks. So, I don't know. That's, I think that's a board decision. I don't think that's a director's decision.
Right, but I just wondered, how you thought it was going, boy, my tongue tied. As a library and as you being in charge of overseeing that, if it was working okay, that was what I was concerned with.
It's working okay. Sure, yeah, it is. It's working fine.
Okay, and I can tell you because I've done the SALS training, because as a trustee of SALS, I'm also under their jurisdiction, and it's been the same the last 2 years as far as I can remember. It hasn't changed. So, it's very similar, and I've also seen the program that you're using with the state, and they're all just slightly different. I've seen the Boy Scout one. I've done that one with my husband, and again, a little bit different, but they all seem to cover the same thing. So
let's not pay the money. Let's do it for free.
Yeah, I think it's the same in the workplace. It's pretty much the same year to
I
year.
think the content is the same. You're probably, if you pay for it, you're probably gonna get a test and take a test afterwards. And if you pass the test, then you get a certificate. I've taken some where you have to watch all the videos and then you have to take a test. Has anybody done those? And then you
Yeah, we have to do that at work.
you get a
Everything we do.
certificate. Yeah.
Yep.
yeah, I've done that one with SALS or the Boy Scouts, but I guess I would call it a test, but the way the ones I have done are set up so that after each little segment, they ask you little questions.
Right,
And
right.
if you answer the wrong thing, they show you the points again.
Yes.
So,
Yep.
it's kind of not like taking the Regents. It's not that strenuous.
No. I've
Right.
done the Boy Scout one before. Yeah.
Yeah. So, if we're happy with this, that's fine. I just wanted to bring it up because I did get that email and I wasn't quite sure where you stood on that, Jennifer, as far as whether you were comfortable with what we were doing or not. So
Okay.
that's all. Okay. So if we have nothing else with the director's report, we now have the annual report to present to us as director.
Well, Peter and I finished the annual report, and we actually finished it early enough, which is the cool news, that we were able to get Diane Winter to look it over. Usually we don't get enough time before we get to this step. And she looked it over and she gave us some advice on some things we needed to change. So we did our corrections and she sent it back and she said, okay, looks good. So we fixed it and then I sent it to you guys. And then once we get the approval date, I'll send that to her and then she can have it all ready to go to the state. So, yeah, it was the annual report review party that we went to really is a big help because you learn a lot there, like questions come up and Diane tells you about the changes that have come up for the new year and people that are there. There were probably, Peter, do you think there were 30 people there on the video chat? There must have
I
been.
think there was only 22 or 24.
Oh,
but still
24,
quite a few.
okay. Yeah, there were
Yeah,
quite a
So I was
few.
looking at the numbers, so I
Okay,
don't think we hit 30, but still.
okay. And so, you know, with all those people on the call, you know, they bring up questions and, you know, things that I wouldn't even think about asking. So, you know, it's a great learning experience and it seems like every year that I do the report, I'm better prepared because I have better data collection. But also it was a tricky year because we didn't have the programs that we usually have or the patron numbers that we usually have or the computer usage that we usually have, which is really, you know, the downside of it. So, you know.
I was glad though that they had that part about COVID.
Yes.
So they, you know, they are going to look at it through the eyes of pandemic.
Yes, yes. So, but there are some new things that we are going to have to be aware of for this coming year. All staff has to do, they have to do training, staff training. So somehow I have to talk to Erica Freudenberger and figure out how I'm gonna do fit staff training. And we have to work with our community partners this year. That's gonna be a requirement of the state. You know, we've got to work with community partners and, you know, we've got to try to fit in some programs. I don't know how we're going to do that, but
So what's,
Hopefully by the time summer comes, we can do some outside,
yeah.
right?
and
Go ahead, Patricia.
what's considered a community partner?
Well, in our plan of service, Linda, we chose some community partners, didn't we? Do you remember who they were?
Well, we chose some for specific goals, but to answer Patricia's question, a community partner would be any other organization or group in the community. So it could be nursery schools, it could be the town of Easton, it could be the fire department, it could be church groups, it could be Boy Scouts, it could be Cooperative Extension, it could be Willard Mountain, you know, any other group, it could be Chelsea's music group, you know, anything that you are working with another either community organization or community group, could be a community partner that you could use and say that you're coordinating with another group in the community for outreach or combined effort, I guess is basically what they usually like to see. Do you think that's what they mean, Jennifer?
Yes, that's what they mean. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. So they really want to see that you're involved with your community. They don't want you to be going it alone. So, and one final thing that I do have to say is that I had to say no on trustees' education. because I feel that I think the Board of Trustees need to do some kind of education during the year as well as the staff. So they ask a specific question about the trustees, whether you've attended some kind of education. And that is not sexual harassment training. That is not included in it. And Linda is the only one I answered yes to because she is a Sal's board member. So I assume she got some kind of training or education in her board, collaboration. But everybody else I answered no to because I don't think that anybody got any outside board specific education on that. So we're gonna have to work on that. And maybe we could do that through NYLA.
Just reading the newsletter, like on that, the newsletter that we get with that organization is so full of information that's helpful. Even the question and answer column where they ask, people write in and ask questions. And it also is a source for online training too.
Yes, so we're gonna have to pay attention to that. I just got a notification that we have 10 minutes left.
Okay, so does anyone have any more questions about the annual report or any comments other than what we've already heard? Well,
Nice
and
job on getting it done early.
Well, thank you.
Sure is a good job to get the whole thing done. I found it very interesting. I want to note that we all received it by email, so everybody's actually read the entire annual report that you and Peter provided. So I feel confident in asking a trustee to make a motion to accept the annual report for the Easton Library.
This is Mary Jane. I'll make a motion that we accept the annual report.
And a second?
This is
Patricia can
Chelsea.
second.
I heard Chelsea first, so Chelsea will second that. Is that correct, Chelsea?
Yes.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Also under new business is we need to plan our annual meeting, and the first order of business is to form a nominating committee. Aaron's term of service is ending this year, and we need to replace him. I would like to ask if Aaron and Chelsea would be the nominating committee for this year.
That works for me.
Yes, I'm very happy to be.
All right, that would be great. And you'll be reporting to the annual meeting committee, which we now have to set up as well, who would need to know who is going to be nominated for that trustee position. I don't believe the annual meeting committee will have as much work as usual because we already agreed we were going to do a virtual annual meeting on Zoom, and it will not have all the requirements that we usually do.
No
So
potluck.
No,
no,
potluck.
no. So unless we all eat in our own homes together, we could do that.
Not the same. We'd have to drop off the food. We'd have to.
So I'm wondering, I don't know, it might be easy if Aaron and Chelsea would, if you're willing to stay on the annual meeting committee and just have one other person join you, then there would be 3 of you to either phone talk or Zoom and just make up the agenda for that and any final decisions, but that's up to Aaron and Chelsea if you're willing to remain on a double committee.
Well, I need to be on the annual meeting committee just so I know what is going to go into the newspaper and everything. So
Thank goodness.
yeah.
Yes, I'm happy to do that with Jen.
I can do that as well.
Okay, very good. So then we'll have Aaron, Chelsea, and Jennifer on the annual committee meeting. when the nominating committee knows who is going to accept the appointment, then you can go ahead and plan the meeting. And I believe we said March 22nd, but I am going to leave that up to the nominating and the annual meeting committee to confirm that date and let everyone know exactly when the annual meeting will be. Is that all right with you?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yep.
Okay. Any other comments about our annual meeting at this point? Okay, I don't hear anything, so I'm going to see if our agenda is complete. Did anyone have any additions? And I'm going to see if I can contact with Pat Kirk. I know she joined us in the beginning, and is she still with us, Jennifer?
She is. Pat, are you there? Can you unmute yourself, Pat? I see her name there.
It doesn't seem like she's muted. She doesn't have a little mute button,
Yeah, I'm
Oh, now
asked,
she is.
asked to unmute. Hi, Pat. Pat, can you unmute yourself? Pat. Hello?
Jennifer, I think you can click on her name and there's a thing to select for you to tell her to unmute.
Yeah, it says ask to unmute and she's not responding.
Okay.
Chad.
Let's try this. I don't know, this will be backwards though, won't it? If I hold up something, where's my camera? No, it's backwards. I don't know how to turn it around, sorry.
No, it's not
Oh,
bad.
I can read it.
Yeah, it says Pat Kurt want to unmute.
Okay. See if anything happens, Jennifer.
Okay. I don't know. Nothing's happening. I don't know.
Okay, well, we tried to have our public comment. So maybe next time.
Okay.
All right.
So a piece of our annual meeting planning is to be in touch with Pat and Carol.
Yes, yes. That's right.
That's good. So Jennifer, you made a note of that for you and Aaron and Chelsea to maybe call her on the phone. It might be better productive than the Zoom is.
That's right. You got it. I got that. All
Okay.
right. Very good.
Any other business before I ask somebody to make a motion to close the meeting? May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting then?
I make a motion, we adjourn the meeting.
Seconded by?
Patricia can second it.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The meeting is adjourned at this point, and Jennifer, you can stop recording.
Okay, I gotta find a little